Wow, happy Thursday night, everyone. I'm really, really glad that all of you are joining us. I'm thrilled that every time we get together, we have such incredible words of wisdom from Dr. Michael Gross. So thank you for joining us. And I'm going to go ahead and give Michael an opportunity to say hello as well.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you can join us. We have so many beautiful things to share with you this evening. While we're doing that, Tia is going to introduce me officially for newbies, as I call them, and then she's going to be working on adding a lot of information into the chat area. So thank you. All right, Tia, you're on.
Here we go, Michael. For over 30 years, Dr. Michael Gross has been a spiritual teacher, multidimensional healer, energy and transformational coach. As an energy, multidimensional healer, Michael works with your soul, your oversoul, your light body, your energetic body, cellular body, and a whole lot more bodies that I won't go into because Michael will enrich you with his knowledge a little bit later. But here's the thing, he works with individuals while retrieving fragmented parts of your soul. In addition, Dr. Michael Gross also does past life regression. And as an intuitive, he helps you understand the future as well as the experiences of your past that are currently affecting you. I find that incredibly fascinating to realize that a lot of the things that happened in our past actually come back or we carry them around. So Michael is an incredible resource to help us find our better, more perfect life. So I got off the script. Dr. Michael Gross has workshops that help you reconnect to God, the true source, through cellular release, manifestation protocols, multidimensional healing, enlightenment, and many others. His vast store of knowledge includes positive affirmations, spiritual techniques that powerfully affect your physical, mental, and emotional, spiritual, family, vocation, etc. More than anything, we all want to be on the path to our perfect life, right, Michael?
Absolutely.
And Michael is an incredible resource and such a beautiful person to take us down that path. He's also an international intuitive consultant for corporations traveling over half the world. His clients are in the United States, Australia, New Zealand, South America, Asia, and other countries. Michael has recently also completed the formation of a 501c3 nonprofit corporation called the International Institute of Self-Empowerment. And I'd love to have Michael, if we have time, also share a little bit about that before we leave, okay? I'm going to leave that one there, but the International Institute of Self-Empowerment is an amazing nonprofit that we're really diligently working on right now. So on that note, I'd like to just share a little bit about Michael's knowledge, because I'm impressed at all these college certificates and degrees that he's got. It blows me away when I see his wall and they're all hanging up there. I'm like, man, this guy's a genius. But he's got a doctorate of alternative healing psychology. He's a certified professional hypnotherapist. He's a thought field therapist, timeline therapist, Reiki master teacher. He also has a master's of science in human services and gerontology, bachelor's of science in human services and gerontology. And not only that, he's a non-denominational minister. So if you need ministerial services, you can call Michael. It's amazing. I know he's had over 1,000 weddings that he's done. Crazy, right? Anyway, so he's a very, very, very knowledgeable man that has a lot to offer all of us, a lot of wisdom that he shares with us. And he's also certified with the Washington Supreme Court as a professional guardian ad litem. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and let Michael share his wisdom with us. And our topic today is Why Am I Here? Part 2. We were talking about this last week. So I'm going to mute and put the contact information into the comments somewhere. Okay.
Thank you.
Here you go, Michael.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. There's so much will be happening this year, and I thought I would take some time to explain why you're here and your experiences. The lineup of the planets and astrology, everything that's going on, is going to really shake us up in a very positive way. And sometimes when we have to make changes, You could talk to a person, say, well, you need to do this and this. They go, okay. But then when something happens that shakes them up, it starts getting them moving in a very positive direction. And they're looking at the astrology and everything that's coming up. Going to be huge earth changes, huge, huge earthquakes, hurricanes, volcanoes, tornadoes, tsunamis, etc., all over the world, of course. But this is part of our wake up call. And the reason that is happening is I've talked before about a symbiotic relationship with Mother Earth. And so she is feeling our energy, our vibrations, and frequencies. So, how can I relate this to you? Well, as you know, some of you may have had cats, dogs, horses, or different pets. And if you think about that when you're in a bad mood or grouchy, they're going to respond to it, either in a loving way to soothe you or a negative way. So our emotions do affect that, but just think about the plant kingdom. And of course, when I talk about the plants, your soil, your plants you plant outside, maybe the flowers and everything you have in your house. And if you're grouchy, angry, or upset, your plants are going to wither or they're not going to survive or grow very well. And if you bother to watch that, you would understand that. Our energy and thoughts also affect our weather. And as you know, the weather has been rather crazy here in the United States. Absolutely incredibly cold and storms and so on and so forth. So all these things are all happening as part of our wake up call. And what is our wake up call? And I want to broach that in a moment. But I also want you to understand is that you chose to be here, you chose life, you chose to experience life. And in choosing to experience life, all of you that are watching this, even if you're very young, you have an important decision to make. And your important decision to make is whether I desire to become spiritual or I'm going to fall into the trap of materiality, control, and manipulation. And that's so important for us to understand. Really, what's important to you? Yes, you should be financially secure. Yes, you should have a home if you desire that. Yes, you should be healthy and you should be strong and you should have additional monies to enjoy life. Absolutely. But it depends upon who your God is. Now, if I ask you who your God is, oh, God's not my money, God's not this, God's up in heaven, or whatever you want to describe. And as you know, I use the word true source, or if you will, God the true source. And there's a reason I do that is, and just briefly, when I went through my training, so to speak, in this lifetime, from guides, guardian angels, archangels, so on and so forth, Elohim and the founding of the true source. And I said, are you God, true source? Well, Michael, I really don't like that. Well, why? Well, Hitler said God's on my side. Idi Amin said God's on my side. Mussolini said God's on my side. All the Middle Eastern wars, God's on my side, and God's going to protect me. And they were defeated, and so on and so forth, because they were following a false belief of God. And that false belief of God is to forget that we're given free will, free choice to do anything we so desire. Of course, we ask for karma to keep us on the straight and narrow. And karma is nothing but an experience. And that experience is supposedly you stole money from somebody in a past life and you come back, you have money stolen from you. You go, oh boy, I'm angry, upset. Well, now you know how that person felt when you did it. The karma's over, finished, and done, move forward. That's it. But we're also at a precipice in this point where there's going to be a major, major positive shift in spirituality. And that's so important. Real spirituality, not so much religiosity spirituality. And in ensuing sessions, I'm going to talk a little bit more about spirituality. However, religiosity is somebody else's rules and regulations and fears and control and manipulation. Spirituality is your own experiences, realizing that you are eternal, your soul is forever, and that you're here for the experience. But more importantly, I want to address in this coming year and how are you going to view your life and live your life. And that is something you need to listen. Some people say your gut, your stomach, your intuition. I call it true soul inner guidance and true source inner guidance. And that's so important for all of us to recognize and understand in our life. And one of my mottos is that you are unlimited, and truly you are unlimited, which means you can do anything you so desire. But everything we do, there's a payoff. You eat too much food, you gain weight, maybe you become diabetic, or maybe you'll have high cholesterol or whatever, so on and so forth. So when I talk about why am I here, you are here to experience life. And without a body, you cannot experience life. You can't feel the warmth of the sun, the cold of the air. You can't even feel physical touch or the love of physical touch. And that's so important for you to remember. So why am I here? All of us are here to learn about self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem, but also to change the direction of our life on this planet. My personal goal for me and for all of you is to get a minimum of 1% of the population to awaken so we can change the chaos in this world. And that's so important. We can talk a great game, but do we really believe that? And do we really behave that way? And there's so much judgmentalness that's going on. Oh my goodness. There is so much that we're losing our freedom of speech, at least in the United States, and I notice in other countries. And you are being criticized if you're against the status quo. So I want you to all look at yourself as spiritual rebels. That's an interesting way. And then you're not against the spiritual, let's say, rules. You're for the spiritual rules, but you're also against being controlled and manipulated. And I'm not talking about aggression. What I'm talking about is listen to true inner source guidance, soul's guidance, and ask yourself, is this really right? Is this right for me? Is this my ego? And as I talk about ego is saying, as you got out. So really, is this your ego? And remember, your ego will give you every excuse why you should do this or that. Whereas your soul is, do it. They'll say something quickly. That's it. And then you follow through. And I mentioned before, because there are some people that I talk to, and some people are really mad at each other. And I try to explain to them, you're not really mad at them. You're mad at yourself for letting this happen. And I want desire all of you to think about that. When you're angry or upset, you're mad at yourself for allowing yourself to be in this position. Well, the most important thing is we've all done that. And if we've all done it, what are we learning from it? Absolutely nothing. We keep repeating the thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like, who is she or who is he to tell me that? And it's like, what did you say? Or what are you being judged? And when you're judging a person, did you know you're judging them out of fear? Because maybe they're right. Maybe they push your button. And truthfully, if we try to understand that, what is controlling you? What is manipulating you? Your fears, your doubts, your insecurities. In some areas, it could be religiosity, depending upon whatever religion you are, because you're fearful you're going to be punished, you're going to go to hell, or whatever. I remember in the nursing home business, and I was in that business, and one of my clients said to me, I should say patients, why has God punished me? I have breast cancer. And I went, oh my goodness, let's have a conversation. Why do you believe that? Well, that's what you was taught in church. We're being punished by God, et cetera, et cetera. In a long conversation, I just told her that the true source, God, the true source, unconditionally loving. Why would you be punished? Whatever there's a reason for breast cancer, and actually breast cancer, one of the reasons, and there are a myriad of them, but I'll just give you a couple. And men are getting breast cancer, by the way. So what is happening? What is the breast for a woman? The giver of life. You don't feed the child. And also, it's how you feel about yourself in femininity as a woman. And as a man, if he has breast cancer, it's how he feels as a man. So if you feel punished, not good enough, anxiety ridden, you believe in the negative thoughts of others, everything's going to eventually manifest in your body. Every thought, every experience is stored in your subconscious, and given enough time and frustration and anger, it's going to settle in your body somewhere. And then it's going to cause a dis-ease, which causes a dystaches, which is cause an imbalance, and you come up with whatever illness that's there. The thought is that we are in control of our lives. In understanding where he came here to experience life, but not let life own us and control us and manipulate us. And that's the big difference. If you view this as an experience, what am I to learn from this? How can I grow from this? And then bless and release it and really feel the deepest of your heart. Yeah, I learned a lesson. I don't need to learn this anymore. I bless and release it. Turn it over to the true source. I'm done. And boom, the illness or whatever will disappear and you will be healed. But you have to say it honestly and believe it. And if you don't believe it, then it will not go away. And I use this again in every manifestation, every thought. I use the acronym FABA: faith, belief, and acceptance. Doesn't matter what order you embrace them. So accept that you are worthy, for example. Belief, it is now occurring, and faith, you are worthy of it. That's it. Or faith, it is now happening. Belief, it's almost around the corner. And acceptance, again, that I am worthy of it. You can change the words around. But if you understand faith, belief, and acceptance and feel it emotionally, you're going to be healed. It's that easy. And when I talked to the true source and I said, well, why is spirituality so difficult? And I want to remind you, I know I said this before. I heard, Michael, you humans have to make a big deal out of everything. And I went, yeah, you're right. I know TU has wanted to say something, so go ahead.
TU does. TU's now forgot what it was I was going to ask you, but um, it's okay, because when you say we have to, ask ourselves, what am I to learn from this, and then release it, and just let it go. Why is it so hard for us to release it? Because it's almost like we keep taking it back.
Good question. It's ego. It's all about ego. We don't want to be shown we're wrong. We made a mistake. We want to be held in a high esteem. And maybe it's something you learn from your family, friends, or maybe from your church, or other people made a comment about it, or whatever it is. And we hate to admit we're wrong, but there's strength in saying, I'm wrong. I don't mind saying I made a mistake or I'm wrong. And doesn't make a difference whether that person forgives you or not. One of the expressions I just abhor: I can forgive, Michael, but I can't forget. Well, if you forgive, then you can't forget. You really haven't forgiven. So who are you kidding? Yourself. So truly, if you looked at everything you've done in my life, and some people annoy me, and I'm sure I've annoyed some people, I stop and think, well, for me, what am I to learn from it? And sometimes I'm learning that you've done nothing wrong. It's that person who refuses to look at it. And I will admit, when that does occur, it's a very small percentage. The larger percentage has to do with my ego. One of my expressions I tell everybody: I am the teacher and you're the student. But sometimes you're the teacher, I'm the student. So we learn from each other. And that's so important. When I was in marketing and sales, and let's say the sales were telephone numbers, that they were that big. However, I used to say I'm only as smart as what my clients make me. They teach me, and I learn from them. And that creates success for me. But when it creates success for me, it helps them to be more successful. Right action, correct exchange. It works out as a win-win situation. We don't look at it that way. It's so important. The other day, I was having lunch with a friend of mine, and we meet once a week at this usual restaurant. And the waitresses all get to know us, and we could talk to them. And one of them was having a problem with her child, and she had a conversation. And it turned out that my friend, who is a master hypnotherapist, said he does hypnotherapy and said I did. And I turned around and I said to myself, he needs to talk to her. Yeah, I'm a hypnotherapist. Am I as good as him? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I am. I don't compare myself. But more importantly, I realized he needed it. And that was so important. And then she turned around, was talking about spirituality. He said, well, Michael wrote a book on spirituality. And after she left, he said, that was no accident, was it? I said, no. He said, we usually meet on Wednesday. We met on Thursday. And he goes, that's why we had to meet here on Thursday. I said, you're absolutely right. So I use that as an analogy that there are no mistakes. Things happen for a specific reason. And that's so important that they're having for a specific reason. Even if it seems detrimental, you've learned something. I learn something new every day. Even if it's that big, I learn something new. And that's what we're here to experience life. And that treatise that I wrote, and I think I'll share it next week. It is, without life, there is no love. Without love, there is no life. So I know we're running a little short on time, but we're going to do a semi part 3. I don't know what semi means, but semi part 3 next week. So tune in. So I'd like to talk to you about a few beautiful things that I want to share with you. And what's really important, what I'd like to share with you is every Tuesday evening, I do what I call Soul Awakening. And it's from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And you can ask any questions you so desire, and hopefully I can answer them. And then I deliver a 10-minute message. And within that 10-minute message, it's recorded. I think I have 313 or 14 or 15 of them, quite a few. And if you go to YouTube, Dr. Michael B. Gross, you will see some of the quotes. There's a beautiful photograph taken by our award-winning photographer, T.U.N.E.P., and then you'll listen to a 8 or 10-minute little motivational thought. And even if you know this stuff, it's good to remember it. There are so many things that I look back in my life and I went, gee, I forgot about all these things. Wow, now they're important. It is so important for us to realize that. Therefore, I would suggest, if you're interested, and share it, that every Tuesday evening, 6:30, 7:30 p.m., it's on freeconferencecall.com. And this is the information that I request for you to write down so you can join us. T, will you give them that information?
Absolutely. It's already in the Facebook comments as well. So if you don't have a pen, but if you have a pen, the number is 202-926-1059, and the access code, Michael?
125446
One more time on the number. It's 202-926-1059, and the access code, Michael?
125446 And using the same codes, the second Saturday of every month of the Mass Consciousness Healing. Again, on freeconferencecall.com. And it goes from 9:55 a.m. Pacific time to 11:01 Pacific time. And I spend a couple of minutes just welcoming you, and we chat, and then we go into a deep meditation to surround this planet and its inhabitants. And we become a conduit for the true source of unconditional love that will touch everybody, everything. And it will also touch you and change your day or life or month. And to access that information,
I have a message from Mary.
yes,
Can I share it?
absolutely.
Okay. Before I give that number again, Mary said she had a no mistake thing happen yesterday that was beneficial to 2 of her networking members. And it was meant to be just like what you said. And she also said, it's good to hear things again. it might be more important when we hear it the second time. And you're as right. You are right as always, Dr. Michael.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to let you know that, Mary is a phenomenal member of our family as well, right, Michael?
Absolutely.
On that note,
Well,
you were
why don't
talking.
we give her a plug? Go ahead.
Okay. Mary West is an amazing networking um, guru, I would say. She has built this amazing network where she is now, because of COVID, she's gone on Zoom, and she has, I believe, close to 100 members on her networking group, and they're all over the country now. And it's amazing because I met her when we were just in Kitsap County at a little, in-person meeting, and now I see her. She's so passionate about what she does, and her Zooms are really, really fun to go to. So if you're looking for some kind of a network to get to know people around here, or maybe business-minded people, definitely get a hold of Mary West. I don't have her number, but she is on Facebook. You can go over and find her page, the Mary West Network. And Mary is the reason I met Michael. Mary is phenomenal. She's been doing this for a very long time. So thank you, Michael, for letting me
You're
put that in.
welcome.
So now we were going back to the second Saturday and the number for the second Saturday, correct?
Correct.
Okay. That's 202-926-1059, and the access code
125446 pound. It's the same as what we call the Tuesday night soul awakening. There's no difference. But here's something a little additional, and that is with what I call the replay, which are 313 or 14 or 15 messages, something like that. You have a choice. You can listen to the podcast that TU and I do if you go to Dr. Michael B. Gross YouTube. And please subscribe because we appreciate your support, and watch some of the old podcasts that he and I are doing, or you can listen to the motivational messages. Either way or both. What if you're driving and you're stuck in traffic and you grumble, 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 I want to get home, blah, 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 blah. And here's what you can do. You can listen to those recorded messages. And in listening to those recorded messages, you can listen, you can take your mind off all the stresses of the day. Yes, you'll be able to drive. You're not going to be, hypnotized or whatever. But it'll really take that angst off you. And it starts at number 3 to 315. So you're going to say, what one do I listen to, Michael? This is where the trust comes in. Listen to the thoughts of the soul. A number will come up, like 192. Okay, so you learn request number 192. And what happens is, yeah, just what I needed to hear. I get that all the time. And you can listen to multiple ones. If you were like I, stuck in traffic for over an hour and a half a couple of weeks ago. So even I listen to my own motivational messages because they're all channeled, because I never know what I'm going to say. And to you, let's give them that information.
Absolutely. I've done the same thing. I didn't know what number to listen to, and the one I picked was exactly the one I needed to hear. So they're phenomenal. They're about 10 minutes. And it's a beautiful way to get another dose of Dr. Michael Gross, right? So
absolutely. Remember, stirred, not shaken.
Okay, so here's the number for the recordings. It's 434-300-4170, and the access code, Michael?
125446 pound. And remember, it starts at number 3 and works its way up. So would you give it one more time, please?
Absolutely. It's 434-300-4170, and the access code, Michael?
125446 pound. I'd like to make a suggestion, by the way, everyone, since we have a little bit of time, and that is spread the word, have other people join us, and we welcome your questions, because I learn from your questions, you're going to learn from our questions, and it's a win-win situation. So I suggest all of you try to remember to ask some questions. And if you don't, that's fine. But invite others. And even if they're skeptic, we're all about planting seeds, aren't we? Planting seeds for people to look and think about with critical thinking. And one day they're going to maybe join us, or maybe they'll find someone else that'll help enlighten them, whatever it is. But that's part of our goal. Therefore, I'd like to remind all of you to remember to do that and join us next week.
Hey,
And
wait, Michael. Excuse me for interrupting you, but you're planting seeds of unconditional love
yes,
everywhere we go, right?
we are. And there's something else I forgot. I offer for all of you that are new a half-hour complimentary session. And you can access that with the information below with my telephone number, or you can go to drmichaelgross.com. I suggest get a chance, check out my website and give me a call. That's 253 222 1096. That's 253 222 1096. That's my private cell number. So give me a shout. Thank you, everyone. Now, I'll wait for Tio to finish putting that in. All right. Thank you, Tio.
Absolutely.
And I want to talk about this. We do this every week, and we talk about this beautiful book, Healing the Holes in Your Soul, written by Tio Knapp. It's all about survival. But more than that, it's a motivational book. It's a book that creates a roadmap for you to find healing from trauma, deep pain, emotion, and going through the rebirth like the phoenix rising from the ashes. This is a must read.
But thank you, Michael, for the kind words. But everybody start here. This is the spiritual primer written by the amazing Dr. Michael Gross. And this is his second edition. I tell you, if it wasn't for this amazing book and the amazing gentleman kind of virtually right there, the book he's holding would never have even been written. And now it's like everything that he's taught me and the things that he's sharing with me, I'm realizing just how blessed I am to have him in my life. He's truly, truly a gift from, a gift from True Source. He's a gift from the True Source. So he touches the lives of many. And start with this book. And if you'd like to find out how to get a signed copy, once again, you can email him at drmichaelgross1@gmail.com. Correct?
Correct.
Perfect.
Well, thank you, everyone. If you're looking for it on Amazon, as I said before, they're all sold out, and you can get it from me. And if you do, I'll make a personal inscription for you. I'll ask what you need to know, and I'll be glad to write it in the book. Therefore, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank all of you. And if you're in a cold climate and you've experienced snow, just remember the warmth is right around the corner. And if you're in the sun bathing yourself, bless you. I'm envious and enjoy the sun. Remember, was it an old Beatles song or so? And Here Comes the Sun? I don't remember. Was it Beatles? I wasn't sure who wrote it. But whatever.
I'm not sure if it was the Beatles, but I think it might have been the Beach Boys or something. I'm not sure.
Well, whatever it is, it's a beautiful song. So I want to thank everybody, and I want to wish you a great week. Please share this with others. And remember, you are unlimited. Namaste, everybody. Thank you. We love you.
We love you. Invite your friends.
Thank you.